So in the last session, we discussed up to item class creation. So when you create item class, these are the points we have to consider. After setting up all these at item class level, by using that item class, we can create the items. So before we proceed to create the item class, we'll complete staging area setup also. I think we forgot to create staging area. We created inventory organization, item master, child organization, sub inventory. So along with these sub inventories, we created few sub inventories. So we just forgot to create staging area. Let's create one staging area. When you receive the material into inventory, so we can take the material into staging. From there, you can move to actual sub inventory. We'll complete the setup and we'll proceed with the item class. So search for sub inventories. Task is manage sub inventories and locators. Click on this. Here is the task, manage sub inventories and locators. Click on go to task icon. So we want to create the sub inventory in which inventory organization. We give a name as name, not code. Mayo dollars inventory. Search. The name is Mayo dollars inventory. Organization code is MDI. Select and say OK. Okay. So within this inventory organization, we created 3 sub inventories. So before we receive the material into this sub inventories, ideally we receive into staging. Okay, when we are shipping to the customers also, we can move from here to staging, from staging to customer location. So we'll create the staging area also. The staging area also you have to create as a sub inventory only. Click on create. You can give the name as receiving. Okay, or else you can give as staging. Staging area. So what purpose we are creating this sub inventory? Staging purpose. You can set sub inventory type as a staging for that. Nothing but receiving. Receiving is nothing but staging area we call as receiving. We receive the material into this staging and we move to storage. That is nothing but sub inventory. When you are shipping to the customer also, first we'll move from sub inventory to staging. From there you can ship to the customer location. Select receiving. Okay, this is not for item management. We are not going to place any items here. Okay, only receiving for temporary purpose. We'll take into this area and we'll move it to our sub inventory. So the location for this receiving point, staging, the same inventory location you can take for staging. Say Mayo. This is the location for this staging area. Staging also is a part of your inventory only as one of the sub inventory. Purpose is receiving. That's how you can define and say save and close. Yeah. Now we'll proceed with our item class definition. Okay. I will see how to create the item class. So from the project, search for the task called as item classes. Search for item class. Manage item classes. Click on this task. Manage item classes. Click on go to task icon. In the fresh instance, okay, in the fresh instance, you can find only one item class called as root item class. This you can see as a seeded root item class. This root item class Oracle is providing. Mostly we use the same root item class for item creation, any rule setup and for item creation. For a few clients, if they want to have a separate numbering for a different classification of items, and if they want to maintain templates separately, if you want to give the access to specific user, specific organization through specific different it could be item or it could be role based or user based or organization based. With this criteria, if they want to give separate privileges, then they can go with the different item classes also. Most of the implementations we use root item class. So if you don't want to use root item class, under root item class, you can create your own item class also. So you can create your own item class also, but ideally it's not required. If you want to have a different numbering for a different item classes, you can go with that. Okay. Say for example, you want to, when you create medical items, you want to follow some sequence. Okay, the sequence should go with something like with a 10,000 sequence. And if you create items related to computers, okay, the sequence should be like some different sequence. It should start from 50,000. So this is how for different classification of items, if you want different numbering, the number generation you can set at item class level. So now you can create for a medical one item class and computers another item class, or say electronics. Okay, you can say electronics one item class. For electronics one item class and medical another item class. Why you want to go with the separate? You want to have a different numbering. Just because of numbering and something else, if you want to go with this, and maintenance will become bit challenging if you have multiple item classes. That is the reason you see in the most of the implementations, we use only a one item class. If we use only one item class, whatever the item class Oracle is providing, the same we can use. If you want to create your own item classes, how to create, we'll see. You can select this root item class and click on create. Select root item class, you can click on create. You can create the item classes like say Mayo, medical. The same name you can take and provide as a description. Now click on save and add details. Let's click on save and add details. Now everything it will copy from the root item class. We are creating new item class. So whatever the default information is available, system is copying from the root item class. Root is the parent one. Okay. Here you can set the item management related information, security related information, under templates related information, all you can set at this item class level what you are going to create. For example, you are going to item management. So you want to generate the numbering. Say sequence generated. When you create the items, by using this item class, the number should start from 10,000. Okay, number should start from 10,000. That should be sequence increment by 1. That means 10,001, 10,002, 10,003. So when you generate the numbering for the items, when you create items within this item class, any prefix and suffix required for this item that you can set. In the same way, under security, you can specify who can create the items within this by using this item class, which item master organization can create items by using this, or else which person can create the items by using this item class. All you can set up under security. Okay, under security, you can set all those information. And again, you can give the privileges also. Here below, you have to give the privileges. Okay, you have to give the privileges. This is all you can set by using the item class. Item class level you can set life cycles and the templates. All you can set at item class level. This is how you can create an item class. You can set how numbering is required. The rest should work. The same way you can create one more item class. Select the same root item class. Click on create. You can create one more item class just for our example. Myo electronics. So save and do, add details. Here you can set the different numbering when you create items with electronics and all. Numbering should start from where, or else you can set user can give the number. Okay, user can give the some number you can specify here. User defined. User can provide numbering. That's how you can specify, or else you can give system should generate with the sequence. This is how you can set. So these are all like for certain items you want to allow the users to enter the number. Certain items you may want to auto generate the numbering. In that case, which items you want to provide the manual numbering, for which item system has to generate. Accordingly, you can classify and you can create the item classes and you can set number generations here. Okay, you can generate the numbers, and for here for this number should start from 1, increment by 1. And you create items by using myoelectronics. This is the number it has to follow. And under security, you can set who can create the items, for which organization they can, from which organization means item master they can create. Those items can be assigned to which child inventory organizations, which role people can create if required, and what are the permissions they can have. All you can set under security. So this is how you can create different item classes. But reality, in the most of the implementations, we don't create too many item classes under item class. You see here, this is a practice instance. Whatever we created, those system will add under this. So we created Myo medical and electronics. Here you can see Myo electronics, Myo medical. Okay, this is how you can create if you want. If client want like that, we can create, but in the most of the implementations, what Oracle is providing the root item class, by using that only we do all the setups related to item. If they need number, you can set the number. If they want to create numbering through manual process, that you can set a root item class. So that's how we can use this root item class. Okay, in the most of the implementations, we use the root item class instead of creating the child item classes under root item class. If you want to create, you can create, where you will have a different numbering requirement and all. Okay, we have seen how to create those. The complete definition will see the root with root item class. You can select root item class, click on add, edit. Okay, click on edit. So under this root item class, what are the root item classes already created, you can see. Okay, so that you don't need to touch anything. Go to item management tab. Okay, go to item management tab. Here you can notice somebody said the item number generation should start from 100, and this should be the prefix increment by 1. This is how they set. Okay, if you want to change, you can change this. Okay, I'm going to set number should start from 1001. We don't need any prefix. Okay, we don't need any prefix. If you want to give prefix, so for Myo you can give M. Since this is a practice instances, there might be items which are created with the similar numbering and all. Okay, the duplication is not possible, but it may be some similar and all. So that you can specify prefix as this and increment by 1. Okay, increment by 1. So that's all you can set all this. Okay, so you can give, this is not required. Required, we'll discuss later. So this is what we are setting. Okay, item number generation method. Okay, item number generation method. So this is what we have to do. Fine. And when user is going to create the item, system will generate this numbering for the items, and whatever the description for that item, that you can set user defined, or you can set some other option, some rule based. Okay, name generation. Ideally, we give the option to the users only to enter the name for that item. Okay, this is how you can set at item class level under item management, how number need to be generated. You can set by using item number generation method option. Okay, or else you can select user defined also. Here also you can give user defined. You can give user defined. Then system will allow the user to enter the item number. Or else you can create some rule. Ideally, we don't go with the rule and all. Either we use a sequence generator or user defined. We'll go with a sequence generated. The first number is going to be 1001. Prefix would be M. It starts with the M, means M 1001, M 1002. It will increment by 1 only. This is how you can set up. And by using this item class, when you create the items, who can create the items by using this item class, for which inventory organization they can create the items, that you can set. Here, go to security tab and you can click on add. Okay, just click on add. We'll talk about group also. First, we'll talk about person. So which person? Okay, which person can create item by using this item class? Who can create? Mayo can create. Mayo can create the item by using this item class. This Mayo can create the items. Items can be created in which inventory? Item master. So select our item master here. Search. So organization code you have to give. Okay. So you search with, so or else you can search with the name. You Mayo, you can find master and the child also. Search. So select Mayo item master. Okay, we are going to set up. So by using this item class, this Mayo can create the items within this master inventory. What kind of permissions you want to give when this user, this employee is going to deal with this item master related to item class, that you can set below. Here you have to click on add. Okay. Okay, click on search. So these are the different permissions related to item. Creating item and setting the attributes. Okay. So maintain item attributes, item basic information. Okay. So create item. Okay. Class items. So these are the different permissions related to item. So what permissions you want to give to Mayo when this Mayo get access to item master organization? Okay, what permissions exactly required, that you can select. If you want to give all permissions, you can select and you can say apply. We'll see, like we'll create the separate roles and we will give the permissions where that user is allowed to view items. Okay, or else they can set parameters that we will see later. For now, just try to understand when you create item class, how we can give the security related information. Say okay. So we are giving full privileges, all access, all privileges to this Mayo to create and manage that item related information within the master inventory. And if this Mayo is going to create the item within this item master by having all these privileges, that items can be assigned to which child inventory organizations. That also we have to specify here. Click on add. Just click on add. Let's wait for a moment. We'll open the field and you can set permissions for other inventory organizations. Say person. So use tab, it will fetch. Search. Select and say okay. Now, if this Mayo is going to create items within this, okay, if Mayo is going to create items within this, what are the permissions already we given below, right? By selecting this, we given. Now we selected different records, so below it's not showing. So with all those permissions, the Mayo can assign that item to our child inventory or not. That also you have to set here itself. Here we can search for Mayo. So the items can be assigned to this dollars inventory also by this Mayo employee. That's what we are setting. So what this Mayo can do related to item with the dollars inventory, again, those permissions also we have to set. Click on add. Click on search. What permissions this Mayo can have when this Mayo is dealing with the dollars inventory is all you can set here. Okay, whatever require you can set. For now, for our understanding, let's give all the permissions. Later, I'll take you through detail level, very limited permissions, how it works, and we will test also. For now, take all these points. We are giving full permissions. Mayo can create the items within the item master. That items what Mayo is creating will have full permissions related to that item management. And that same item can be assigned to dollars. And for dollars inventory related to that item also, this Mayo will have a full privileges to manage that item attributes or item related information. Okay. So viewing, editing, or any kind of permissions, we are giving full permission. Say apply. Here we selected all. Just click on apply and say okay. So this is how you can give which person can work for this. If you don't want to give person wise, what you can do is you can give role wise. Who got access to so and so role, those people can assign. Okay, they can assign. I mean, the role people can create the items in which inventory organization. I mean to say which item master organization. Those role people can assign the same items which are created in item master to which child inventory organization, what permissions they can have, that also you can assign. If you want to assign employees wise, you can assign like this. If you want to assign role wise, just click on add. For product management, we have a few key roles. Okay, key roles. What all roles we have, we'll discuss later. For now, let's talk about key roles. Here, principal group means role. You can search for, okay, product manager. Okay, product manager role. You can specify. If this role is assigned to any user, this role we may assign to one or multiple users. All those users, what they can do by accessing our item master inventory organization, that you can set. Okay. So Mayo item master inventory. This is the name. So code. Here is a code. Search. Okay. So who got access to this role? Who got access to this role? Those all employees, what they can do by accessing my item master organization, that you can give the permissions. How we given permissions to specific employee, in the same way role level also you can give the permissions. If anybody is going to have access to product manager role, what they can do, that you can set up. This is how you can select specific or all privileges and you can apply. Say okay. Okay. And in the same way, you can set if any user got access to product data steward role. So what we have inside of the role, we'll test later. Okay, we'll verify later. For now, let's try to understand which roles we have. Okay. So these people, okay, who got access to this role, those people also can have access to item master organization. Okay, Mayo item master. And again, you have to set the permissions. Click on add. What sort of privileges you want to give? As of now, you can give all. Later, we will discuss and we'll set specific privileges for other users to test and understand. Say apply. And click on done. Now, these two role people, these two roles, which users got access to these two roles, they can create items, they can have full privileges, okay, based on these actions which we assigned at this item master level. If you want to allow these two roles people to assign the items to child inventory organizations and child inventory organization level also, if you want to allow them to manage that items which are created by item master, so you can give the permissions to the same roles for child inventory also. The product manager, you can give Mayo dollars inventory. Better you can search. Mayo dollars inventory. Okay, select. And you have to give the permissions. Scroll little down. Click on add. Search. Say apply. Click on done. And what about the product data steward role? Okay, that also you can give the access to this child inventory organization. Product, okay, data steward role, and you can give the access to child inventory organization also, so that the items which are created, those can be assigned by the people who got access to the same role. And the item organization level, what are the permissions we have? Same permissions you may give at child organization, or else you can give limited permissions. How reality you require, accordingly you can give. Mayo dollars in search, select, and say okay. Okay, click on add. Search, select, and click on apply. Save. So that's how you can set security at item class level. If you want to say who can create the items or who can do what at this item master organization level, you can give the permissions below we have seen. And who can have which permissions when they are dealing with the child inventory organization. If you don't want to say who, which role people can do what at what inventory organization level, that could be child or item master, and accordingly you can give the permissions. Okay, so this is how you can set the security at item class level. Okay, item class level. So this life cycle pages, templates and all we'll see after some time. Okay, now that those are not required, when we after discussing the relevant points, we'll come back. Now just we are setting under item management tab, we are providing how number need to be generated. Under security, okay, who can access to what through which organization, that we are giving, which is very much primary. And we given the permissions also. Now you can say save and close. Just click on save and close. We'll see other points also, what we have to understand at item class level, because we have to discuss relevant setups so that easily we can understand all those. Just we created item class. with the basic information. Now, so if you are going to create the item, okay, if you are going to create the item, now you can go and create the item by using this item class. Okay, if you want to create the item by using the item class, you can create it now. But before you create the items, you have to set up the unit of measurements. How you measure the items in your organization, that all you have to set. Okay, what is the base element, how you want to measure, that's how you can set item type and all. We'll discuss all these points, then we'll proceed with the item creation by using the same item class. So let's talk about unit of measurements, how you measure the items. I think we discussed already that point. Okay, so these are the examples I took. Right. So here, one second. So this are the measurements. What are the stock you are going to maintain in your warehouse? This is how you are going to measure, like bundles, bags, bottles, box, cylinder, case, drum, dozen, gallon. Okay. So pack, pin, roll. These are the measurements. So this I can say unit of measurement. So what is the base for this? Okay, what is the base? What is the basic measurement? Base unit of measurement. For all these, you can take as a base as same. You can take base as same. Bundle you call as a bundle only, bag you call as a bag only, bottle you call as a bottle only. If you don't want to take the same as unit of measurement, for all these, you can take the unit of measurement as a each also. Means bundle means one each, bag means one each, bottle means one each. So this is how you can take each as a unit of measurement also, base unit of measurement. If you take this base, what happens is, say for example, dozen means each, one dozen. Later, if some transaction purpose, if you want to convert, dozen means how many, each, the basic unit of measurement you are taking as each. So dozen means how many, you can just do the conversion as a 12, because that is each. Dozen means one only. One dozen means how many, means one dozen only. Okay, if you take base unit of measurement as each, the dozen can be converted. Dozen means how many? 12 units. That's how you can convert if you take unit of measurement. So that totally depends how they are going to manage the item, how they want to measure. If I take a few implementations, we took the unit of measurement as a each, wherever each is applicable. So it based on like if you are going to deal with the quantities, okay, the quantity related measurements you'll take. If you are going to take time related measurements, if you are talking about currencies, currency related measurements. So this is all the data we get from the client. Okay, what are the different unit of measurements they are using? What is the base unit of measurement they required for measuring those items? Accordingly, you can create. If I take my just recent implementation, we took the unit of measurement and base unit of measurement as same. How they need, we can take those. Okay, the unit of measurement only you can take as a base unit of measurement, or else. So for each unit of measurement, you can take as a base as a different, like each, so that the conversion is possible. Okay, so that's how you can define in the system. If you want to set up all the unit of measurements, first we have to create base unit of measurements. After that, the second step is you can create unit of measurements. Okay, first step is all the basic unit of measurements you can create. The second step is you can create the unit of measurements. Your base and unit of measurements both are same. Still you have to create base unit of measurements. Okay, if it's a different, create accordingly. Okay, ask client all unit of measurements, they'll provide along with that what is the basic measurement they measure, that unit of measurements, that also client will provide. That could be same or that could be different measurements. Okay, take simple example. For all these, you can take as each one roll each. Okay, one pin, one dozen, one drum, one cup, one. That you can represent as each. That is the basic. Okay, the basic low level of unit of measurements to measure all these variety of measurements. Okay, you can take as each or you can take as a set. Okay, so first we have to create the base unit of measurements, and you can create later this unit of measurements. Okay. So if you have like a unit of measurements is different from base, those will be useful for conversion. If I give each for dozen means how many, okay, the relevant items I can give dozen is equal to each 12 each. I can give like that. So that's how conversion purpose. Okay, you can use base unit of measurement if it is applicable. That's how we can create. Let's see how to create this unit of measurement. First, we'll create base unit of measurements. Then we'll create actual unit of measurements. Go to our implementation project. Again, we'll come back to the item class. No need to think about it. Just we provided basic information. With that, you will be able to create item. But we'll go through few details. Again, we'll come back to the item class and we will discuss few more points so that that would be more clear for us. So now search for unit of measures. Okay. Unit of measure, define unit of measure, just that is the task list name. Scroll a little down. Here is the define unit of measures, expand it. Here is the task. So manage unit of measures. This is a mandatory setup. Okay. When we talk about item class, we discussed item class. Oracle is providing one item class called as root item class. The seeded item class which Oracle is providing is the root item class. Ideally, we can use the same. Most of the implementation we use the same. If client says I need different numbering, I don't want to give the permissions. If I give permissions to one person for so and so organization, that should not allow that user to create any type of items by using that. If they have certain security and all, you may create different item classes under root item class. Otherwise, the root item class only we can use for item creation. Okay. So that means Oracle is providing one seeded root item class. By using that, you can create the items. If you want to create new item classes, yes, you can create under root item class. But when you talk about unit of measurements, Oracle never provides any sample unit of measurements. Whatever you need, you have to create. Okay. The fresh instance, you don't find any unit of measurements. Whatever your client is going to use measurements for the items which they are going to store in the warehouse, all the unit of measurements information we have to take from the client, and you have to create all those in the system. So here, let's create unit of measurements. The task name is manage units of measure. Okay, manage units of measure. Click on go to task icon. And before you create unit of measure, you have to create unit of measure classes. Within the classes only you give the base. Okay. So just click on manage unit of measure classes. You are classifying the measurements with a base value, base measurement. Okay, how you are classifying? This is how you are classifying. Okay, how is it, you can say this is how you are classifying unit of measurements as a bags, boxes, cases. That is a classification for measurements, all measurements. So those you can create here. Okay, how we are navigating? We are using the task name called as units of measures. Then click on manage unit of measure classes. Click on add. You can create these class codes. Okay, so bundle. Oh, You can give the code or you can give the full name, no issues. Or else, if you don't want to give the full name as a code, you can give BD. Okay, means bundle. And class name and description, you can take the same. Unit of measure code is same. Okay, here short name you can give unit of measure code BD bundle. So base unit of measure. For this, how you measure? You can measure as a bundle or you can measure as a each. Okay, if you give each, you can if required, you can do the conversion. If you give bundle, bundle means bundle only. There's no other another conversion for that. You cannot bundle means how many. You cannot convert. Bundle means bundle only. You can give each unit of measurement here so that you can convert it. You can convert. Okay, bundle means each how many. Bundle means 2, 3, 4. If applicable, accordingly you can give. Otherwise, nothing. Here you can give. So both are same. The basic measurement also same. Bundle means bundle only. This is how you can provide. Just click on add and say bag. Let's create few unit of measurements. Your class code you can give bag. Class name you can give as a bag. Your class code you can give as a BZ. And description is same. And the unit of measure code also say BZ only. And here you can give base unit of measurement. You can say bag or else you can give each. We'll create few. A bottle. BZ is already available. Okay, bag is already available. That's okay, no issues. Then ignore it. We'll create something else. So bottle. Bottle. Unit of measure code you can use BT and bottle. Same. Okay. And say cylinder. Click on add. Cylinder. Class name. Class description. And this unit of measure code is CL. Base is cylinder, or else you can take as each. How you measure that, based on that you can provide. Okay, done. So you can take another as a version. Click on add DZ. This is already there. Somebody created in this environment. Let's take ounce. Ounce. In the same way, you can create each. So this is how you can create different unit of measure base codes. Okay, the base we are creating, that based on the classification we are creating. Okay, the unit of measure classifications, these are the different classifications, how you are going to classify, how you are going to measure the items which you are going to maintain inventory. For each class you have to give the base unit of measurement also. The base can be each for all, depending on this which falls under each kind of measurements, or a same name you can take. So this is how you can create. Now you can save it. Save it. The unit of measure name must be unique. The name of any unit of measure may be same with the presented in different language. It must be unique in each language. Maybe few might be already there. That is the reason this is a message. Let's remove this each. I think each may be available. So save it. So few may be available. That is the reason this message it is giving. Save it. Still. We'll remove and we'll check. What's wrong? Search first what we have here, you can see. There are, I think is matching. What you can do is we'll create few. Okay, just we'll put some M as a prefix because this is a practice instance, right? So there could be many values which are already created. I'll give name as M bundle. Okay, let's say another description. M BD bundle. And bundle. Only max 3. BD. Save it. Created. Okay. So this is how just make uniqueness. There might be a number, since it's a practice instance, there could be a number of unit of measurement classifications. If those are just matching with existing, it doesn't allow to create. I mean to say duplication is not allowed. Same way you can check each is available or not. Okay. So each, here 1 second. Each is available. Here they given each. What I will do is I'll remove this. Maybe you delete the measurement classes. Okay. Because it's in use, okay. Other association is there, okay, fine. So here we'll create one each also. Yeah, nobody's created, cool. Each one I'm giving each. Here the code is same. It is not allowing. Yeah. That's how you can create. Okay. So already the unit of measurement, UOM codes or base values are matching, so it is not allowing whatever you plan to create. Otherwise, this is how exactly you can create. There won't be any sample data. Whatever you create, that would be the new data in the system. Okay. That's how you can create the unit of measurements. After creating unit of measurements, by using that unit of measurements, you can create unit of measures. Okay, unit of measurement classifications first we have to create, then you can create the unit of measurements. The same like you can view here, whatever, the same you can create. So you can do the name. already there, it is saying. Give Mayo. Okay. Mayo bundle, that is also there. X I'm giving. Okay, this unit of measurement falls under which class, which classification you can select here. This is how you can select. Within that, the base unit of measurement is bundle. Okay. X each. X each. X each. Here you can select each. Select each. The basic unit of measurement we created as a MH. Okay. So since this practice instance, we are not able to create whatever we plan to create. If it is a fresh, so you can create anything, no duplication. Since here few are created by other users, this is how you can see. Okay. So this is how you can define and click on save. Okay, click on save. And you can create a conversion. Okay. You can create some conversions also. Say, for example, I'm creating a conversion called as X. I'll take here, let me take dozen. TZ X dozen X dozen. It will take unit of measurement class. Dozen. Here, let's take each here. We'll discuss. You can take for a dozen only unit of measurement, a base unit of measurement classification. If you take each, what you can do is to save it. Okay. Now, dozen means how many each that you can specify. You can select this record, go to manage unit of measurement conversions, standard conversions, click on add. Okay. Here, unit of measure can take dozen. Okay, we selected over dozen, right? Each you take, search for each. No, each we have them. We have the dozen and all. X. Yeah. So now here you want to set dozen means how many each? Dozen means 12. This is how you can set the conversion also. Okay. You keep each like each will help us. Dozen means how many? That's how you can. Dozen means dozen only. You are not going to identify how many we have inside and all. You can take here the unit of measurement as a dozen as well as the class and base unit of measurement which we created also dozen only. So that's how you can select how we require. Say save and close. Inventory organization level also you can define this conversion. 1 dozen means what it is applicable for which inventory, that also you can do. So we will touch that. Now it's not required. These are the points you have to understand how we can create the unit of measurement. This is how we get the data. Okay. Now recent implementation, the base unit of measurement and the unit of measurement both are same. No conversion they used. Okay. So case means case, box means box. No other further inside calculations. Box means how many items we can have in the box. No, that's how we have. So when you create item, you have to choose the item is belongs to which unit of measurement. Okay, by using this item class, when you create the items, okay, this item is belongs to whether the item falls under classification as a box, okay, or some case, or you count as each. That we have to specify. For that we need that unit of measurement definition in the system. The fresh instance, you don't find any unit of measurements. You have to get all the data from your client. Those we have to define in the system, so that item creation time you will be able to select that measurement. Another setup is item class. When you create the item, which type of item is that we have to select. Here search for the task called as item type. Okay, search for item types, manage item types. Click on, go to task icon. Okay. So for item type, you are using the lookup. You can use normal task and you can use the lookup concept. Lookup concept means to create the predefined values. Okay, with the lookups, what we can do, you can create the predefined values. Doesn't matter for us whether this is lookup or normal page. What we need is we want to maintain the data. Okay, if it is a lookup, there are some other benefits. Somewhere you can just fetch this data for some other purposes. That's how the lookups can be useful. Otherwise, normally data we are going to maintain through this setup. That's all. So they are providing on lookup called as user item types. Okay, user item type lookup they are providing. Here you can create all the type of items. You see here, these type of items Oracle is providing. Okay, really you no need to create. If at all you need some additional item types, this is all you can create. They are the different item types. Say finished good item. Okay, some equipment. The item type is equipment. And these are the different item types Oracle is providing. What are the items you are creating? Those you can choose that item is false under which item type, or else just you can create your own item types also. Here you can add your own item types. Scroll little up. 1 second. The screen is not supporting. Scroll. And here you can see it is open the field here because we place a cursor over there. So that is the reason it is open in middle. Here you can give the item types. Okay. So item types. So you can say some medical item. Medical. So this is how just you can provide the type of items just for grouping purpose. With this, you are not going to do anything. So you can just list out all the item types which are not, if those are not available as per the item types which Oracle is providing. Okay. So many Oracle is providing. Apart from that, whatever you require, you can create it. Nothing to do with this. Just item creation time you can select, so that when you are trying to find the items, the item class you can find, item type you can find out which type of items, how many we have. If you want to track those, if you want to generate the reports, or for any other purposes, if you want to use that attribute, we can use this item type. Okay, when you create the items, you have to select which type of item. For that, you can make sure that what are the different type of items you have when you create in the system. Okay. So that's how Oracle is providing max item types. Apart from that, if you want to create anything, you can create. Not only based on what nature of item, that is whether that item is type of something manufacturing related item, or which business process we are going to use that item, that also you can take as an item type. And item life cycle phases. Item life cycle phases means the item is standing in which phase the process of creating that item or building that item or assembling that item. Ideally, this item life cycle phase is not applicable if you are going to maintain the items directly. If you are going to implement manufacturing applications, in that manufacturing application process only, you can set the item is standing at which phase. Okay, so in which phase that you can set, but you may not implement manufacturing applications. Still, at the time of item creation, you have to select what is the life cycle phase for this item. What are the items you are creating? If those are directly inventory items, you are not going to deal with the manufacturing application. You can select item type as item life cycle phase as production directly. So we'll go and have a look what are the life cycle phases. By default you could see. So item, okay, life cycle phases, life cycle phases. So this is the task. Okay, manage life cycle phases. Go to this task. Click on go to task icon. Click on search. Here you can create, okay, whatever the life cycle, like what status you want to set for the item, okay, that you can set. So mostly if you are going to create manufacturing related items, if you are going to work on the manufacturing process, first you do the design, okay, then you may create some draft item based on the design, or else you can say prototype, okay, draft or prototype you can create. Then you may just, the item may be under development, or finally it may be production. Okay, so this is how you can create different phases of your manufacturing process, stages or phases for your item. When you're not going to work on manufacturing related applications, simply what life cycle phase you can take is production. Okay, so in this instance, these all are created by somebody. Okay, so the first instance you have to create. Okay, you have to create. Here also you don't find any data. You don't find any data. These all are created by somebody. Okay, it is not given by Oracle. Nothing is given by Oracle. Whatever you see here, all created by the people who are just working on this instance. Okay, so there will be phase types, the serial types. Those phase types you can find, but this life cycle phases all are created by somebody. Let's create one phase type, one phase. Say I want to create as a production, because we are not going to work on manufacturing application. So in such scenarios, if you are not implementing, only one phase is enough for us, that is the production. Production means that is just item. Reality, we don't need to set this life cycle phase for inventory related items. Directly we are going to maintain the stock, but as per system it is mandatory. When you create the item, this field is mandatory. Life cycle phase, even does not belongs to any life cycle phase related to manufacturing process. This field is mandatory. That is the reason we have to provide. So these are the 4 seeded values Oracle is providing. Okay, these are the 4 seeded values: design, okay, and prototype. This is a prototype, and production. Okay, this is nothing. Just you are not going to do anything with that. These are the 4 phases Oracle is providing. If you want to add this phase types also, you can add by using the relevant lookup also. Okay, but when we are not going to implement manufacturing applications, you no need to set anything here. Only one value we required in this page, life cycle phase, that is nothing but production. That one is enough for us. That's what we have to understand. Apart from that, you no need to create anything here. So you must enter number, letter, or underscore in between the letters. Here we given space. Save it. So this is how you can create. Ideally, we no need to create one value is enough. When you create the items within the inventory directly, that is production. Production means it's done. The product is ready. Okay. Product is ready that we are just creating in the system. That's what we have to notice. And item statuses. Okay. So item statuses. When you talk about item statuses, based on the item status, you can set many things. Okay, you can manage the complete item behavior. You can say search for item statuses. Here is the task called as manage item statuses. Go to this item statuses task. Click on go to task icon. So by default, okay, by default, Oracle is providing only two statuses. One is active, other one is inactive. When you create any item, okay, when you create any item, so if you select the status as active, what is applicable you can see here. These all are item related attributes. Okay. So what you can do, what you cannot do, all you can set here. Okay. So if item status is active, whether you can purchase the items, yes, you can purchase it. And you can sell the items, different attributes. Item level, what are the attributes we are going to have based on the status, how system has to behave, what it should allow, what it should not allow. Okay, that you can set here. By default, you see active and inactive. If you select inactive, nothing is allowed. Okay, attribute value, nothing. Just you cannot do anything. Okay. So you have item and you are not going to purchase that item. You are not going to deal with that item. Then you can set the status as inactive. If you are going to just deal with that item, purchasing, selling, storing in the warehouse, accordingly you can set which is possible, which is not possible. Okay. So this is how you can set all this information. So this is also will touch once again after creating item. You have to see the attributes. What are the attributes applicable? When after seeing that, again we'll come back here and we'll at the time of item creation, we'll select the status. So based on the status, we will look into the details. After creating item, again we'll come back to this item statuses and we'll verify. Okay. So just notice this is somebody created. Okay. This is created by somebody. The status deleted because there is not one existing item status. At least one we have, right? And no issues. So these two only seeded. Just notice that you can create a number of as per a requirement you want to create. So these also we'll discuss. Okay, we have to see the item creation so that what is controlled at what level. First, we have to understand the item attributes. After creating items, so once again we'll have a look. All these points we will see like what we created, where it is impacting. I'll take you through all these points. Okay, so that's all about item status. Just remember, by default, Oracle is providing two item statuses. If it is active, you can deal with that item, and if it is inactive, you cannot perform anything. And still, you can set even inactive status. What you will be able to do that if you want to set, you can set here. Okay, this is all you can set as yes. Also, we'll come back to this once again. For now, just take this point: active, inactive. If it is active, you can do anything against that item. That's how you can have attributes. If it is inactive, no action can be performed on that item. You can set the parameters like that or attributes like that. Okay. Now, other point is your templates. We'll discuss later after creating the item and all. We will discuss about templates, but now it's not required. I'm not going to talk about these templates as of now. We'll discuss later. We'll create item. We'll select the template, how it is taking attributes, from where it is taking, and item class level will go and we'll see what templates are available. Those same are available at the time of item creation. Within the template level, what attributes we have, how those are getting copied, and how those are like related to item attributes. The same we call as item attributes. All those points we'll discuss. So now templates also we'll see after some time. Now we'll go through the catalogs. Okay, we'll go through the catalogs. So catalogs, this is what we discussed already in the previous session. We discussed. Okay, catalog means collection of categories. Okay, category means collection of categories. Within the category, you can have a classification of items. Okay. In one catalog, you can have multiple categories. Under each category, you can have a subcategory also. And finally, you will have items. At a catalog, under catalog, you can have one or multiple categories. Under each category, you can have items directly, or else in specific category, you can have a subcategories. Under subcategories, you can have items. Okay, this is the example we took in previous discussion. So item catalog. Okay, this is one of the catalog for all the items. These are the categories. This is the catalog name. Okay, this is the catalog name, item catalog, and these are the different categories. You can create the items. Items can be assigned to these categories. Okay, the facility uniform. So what are the different uniforms you have, which you treat as items? All you can create in the system as a items. Those items are belongs to which category? If the item is belongs to uniforms and all, that can be assigned to uniforms category. Okay, this is how just you can have a catalog and category concept. We'll see how to create catalog and categories, and how to create the subcategories, and all those points also we'll discuss. So templates, just we discussed. Item class we discussed. Again, we'll go through that. And the unit of measurements, we will see some other part, how to create the intra and inter conversions. Just we have seen how to create the unit of measures. And item type we have seen. Again, we'll touch all these. Okay, when after creating item, again we go back and we'll compare and we'll understand all those points. Statuses also just we have seen. This we have seen. Templates we didn't touch. The catalogs and templates we'll see later. First we'll create catalogs and we'll go through this item attributes. After item attributes, again we'll go through item statuses. Okay, when you create the item creation, you can see the life cycle phases, which whatever we have seen, how you can select, and this you don't need to touch and all. That's how we'll see. It's not like one time if you just see it, don't consider as a completed. Again, we have to go back and we have to review the data based on the further setups which we are going to do, how it was, what we are able to do based on that we will always check. We'll see, like in tomorrow's session, we'll proceed with the catalogs and attributes, the item creation, rest of topics. We'll try to complete the remaining basic setups from inventory application tomorrow's session. Time permits, we can see the transaction creation also.